Hi, everybody. My name is Juniper Bloom Mystique. I am an Ascension Master, Master Healer, and Divine Guide. I'm not your regular star seed and light worker. I am definitely talking about things that others are talking about, but from a different perspective and a different side of it. Okay, so what I will tell you is just a little bit of a warning because I'm about to show you Horus returned. Okay, I am the return of Christ. I'm not going to shy down anymore from saying that. I am not false. I am not anything that is outside of the light. Okay, so what I'm going to tell you is I know that sounds like it's not real. I know there's a lot of things out there that say a lot of things to manipulate and to lie. Matter of fact, you're coming out of a matrix that was full of lies. Okay, so I want you to understand something, that what I say, I prove. Okay, there are people that woke up with me. There are people that I walked through into the new earth because they went through the path with me as I was waking up and bringing it through, because it was my own awakening. So I had a Kundalini awakening in 2019, and then I started doing weird things. I started bringing through healings that I didn't know if I could even do. I just would do them. They were innate in me. It was already in me, hence the master. When my master title is used, it's because it's very real. Nobody taught me to do the things I know how to do. I just followed the internal nudges. I went through my awakening through what you call spiritual school. And in turn, in following those nudges and doing whatever came through, I brought through the return of Christ. It actually came through clearing Mount Shasta, raising Atlantis, sitting on Saturn with Hermes the god, clearing Mount Shasta, which was not light at all, activating Fiji pyramids, which was also the god portal under the water there, and a pyramid there. And then I returned the root chakra back there from Mount Shasta, cut off life support to California, and a whole bunch of stuff. Activated pyramids all over the globe, freed Jesus' soul, united Jesus and Mary Magdalene on the Christmas day, live on YouTube. Like, all of these things kept coming through me, and it's been happening since 2019. I rebuilt the crystalline grid. I actually brought down the blood of Christ. So when I post these things for you guys to watch, they're real. They happened. It's not just me talking about it. So enough of that. Right now we are in a full moon. This is eclipse season. This is prophetic, and I'm going to show you why. So what I did to the moon is a lot. Horus was murdered, Sekhmet was murdered, Adam and Eve was murdered, and so was Jesus and Mary Magdalene. Okay. And so I feel like it's important for you guys to watch this. Now, this week, the energy coming up this week, Mary Magdalene says the theme for this week is justice will prevail. Okay. I find that interesting. Mary Magdalene came through because if you watch the Return of Christ video that I did, you'll know why that's interesting. Okay. Justice will prevail. All right, my friends. So this is about justice. If you are not DNA viable going through this eclipse, this is why we would warn not to do things like the V and things like that. And that's why they were pushed so hard right at the same time that this was happening. You guys, there's so many changes going on here. And this full moon is very relevant, and it does affect this week ahead and much more. So the real true theme this week ahead is justice will prevail. And I will also be talking about, so in Mount Shasta part 1, I cleared contracts all the way back to Abraham Lincoln. And as I was channeling for this energy this week ahead for my YouTube channel as well, they mentioned the all of a sudden Emancipation Proclamation. I'm like, thank you, Spirit. My mind was drawing a blank, and they told me Emancipation Proclamation. So I'm going to deep dive into that on YouTube a little bit as well. It's very important, because if you know what that is and what Abraham Lincoln is and what happened to him and what changed and when, you'll understand why I cleared it. It was part of the darkness. Okay. So Abraham Lincoln was murdered. Do you want to know what day he was murdered on? I think it was April 1st of 1965. Okay. The Emancipation Proclamation was created in 1863 and January 1st. He was murdered a few years later, a couple years later. And when they did that, they changed it. They turned things around. And then now, you know, that's when taxes are due, right? So you guys just buckle up, my friends, because these changes are going to be massive. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't watch the videos that I post. I constantly post them because God tells me to, because it's the work of God. And when you guys judge instead of watching, it actually hurts you. So I'm going to give those an opportunity to see it. Okay. So you're about to watch Horus return, what the Sphinx was, what I did, and what that is, and why the moon right now looks like it has like this crust cracking off of it, and why they call it the blood moon, which is also prophetic, and the return of Christ. It's all been done. Yeah, let's just watch. You're not going to watch the whole thing, but I'm going to give you the important parts. These are workshops that I did. I didn't know what was coming when I did them, so keep that in mind. Other people were also there with me because people do work with me. So here you go. Let's just watch. You got to listen carefully. You can actually watch the whole entire video on my YouTube channel. Here you go. This is Horus return, and this is important for the full moon right now.
Turning her forward or something. What that means, so I'm just not going to try to assume.
So a little context on this. This one was done in January of 24, not that long ago, a couple months ago. I have a DM. My first one died and I got a walk-in. Yes, he did die. I know souls don't die, blah, blah, blah. But who he was is gone. He is no more. I got a walk-in twin flame. And this is who got that soul. Okay, so I did Sekhmet. I did the Nile in 23 of June. And then Horus return came through just in January. And this full moon is very relevant for that because he is the moon and I am the sun. All right. So again, everything's already been undone. If you want to know the truth, you've got to watch these videos. Okay. I know the truth. It's proven. And I just want everybody to be as in awe as I am too, because it's amazing. Plus, if you can't see me through me or the work that I did through the earth, you're not connected. Okay. So there's something blocking you. All right. So it's a good thing to work towards. So let's look, because everything I did is in the Akasha records as well. So let's listen.
This life to do this for this purpose only. Okay. This is something unique. So keep your hands there until I tell you. I'm opening up the Sphinx.
Okay. So what I was also going to tell you is that the people that are there had to help me with this one because my DM was not there. So you'll hear that in here as well. Okay. They had to help me a little bit because I had to have them hold the moon because I move things. I move the moon, I move the sun, I move the poles. I created 5 more when I took us into 7D and so much more. And what I do is playing out in your reality right now. If you watched everything I do, you know exactly what's happening and why and what's to come.
From the light from the core, all the way into this pyramid in the center. We've sat around this pyramid before. It should be quite familiar at this point. I need you touching it, even if it feels like hesitation or whatever you might feel. Just keep your hands there for a moment. Okay, don't remove them until I say. Let me repeat, do not remove them until I say, or you won't have enough power to do this. This is not normal. This is something my DM should be doing. Okay, so this is going to take everything you've got and then what I give you. I'm giving you this light to do this for this purpose only. Okay, this is something unique. So keep your hands there until I tell you. I'm opening up the Sphinx, and she's like really opening up. She's even cracking down the middle. The energy is palpable. It's insane, and I feel it in my head, in the back of my head. Something about the Sphinx, it's almost like I will be turning her off from this day forward or something in a way. I don't know what that means, so I'm just not going to try to assume. So keep your hands there, do not remove them. I'm filling it with more light from the core. These are temporary God activations. So there is something with breaking the moon's core, like the surface off, so the core surfaces. I don't know what that means. This is why I told you this moon was different. And then De La Roca saw it in the energy. I'm blowing all that sand. I think I've done that before. It's like blowing all that sand. I'm making everybody blind. It's like smacking. There's people around it, and I don't like it. They gotta go. So there's like scaffolding or something there, and I'm like, it's breaking. It's like falling apart. I need it free. I need it free of mankind. I need it free of mankind for this. I need it free of mankind for this. I need it free of mankind to get the Horus will be reborn.
The return of Christ is complete.
Oh, my DM's with me, but he's gonna take on the soul, so it's gonna be a bit jarring for him.
Oh,
But
yeah.
he's ready. It's not that he's not. That's what they're telling me. He's ready. He's ready. He's getting that soul.
He's doing the work too.
I feel this in my sacral. It's really affecting his sacral. It deals with his sacral right now. Keep your hands on a pyramid. Do not take them off.
I just want to test the volume. Testing on the volume. It's not showing that it's working, so it's a little bit concerning. So hopefully the volume's working. I don't know.
I'm drawing up more light from the core into it. You're taking on a lot, so you have to do it in layers. I know it's taxing probably. I don't know what you guys are feeling necessarily, but just bear with me. I'm starting to see some of this play out. So we are going to do something to the moon. It's like I'm literally going to break off its hard shell. It's false persona, a false persona. This is something that happened to Horus. This deals with what happened to Horus. And I see it's like this battle. It's like this battle. Almost like there's swords involved. Tough. Oh, tough. And I'm going to rip his soul out.
Did you hear me? I said I was going to rip his soul out. I had to do that as well. So when I freed Jesus, I took the soul out of some other being that I think killed him. So it's like, not only do I undo the darkness, I rectify. This is a karmic return.
So I have this weird bracelet on my left arm, and so does my DM. It's like what we had in that lifetime, and they matched, and his was broken. And then mine cracked, and it made me bleed all the way down my arm.
Thoth was not a god.
So he was wearing something around his neck.
Listen carefully.
Power of the moon. Come on, DM carried the power of the moon, and he wore like a little thing of it on his neck in that lifetime.
I didn't know that. That's actually depicted.
Where mine was in the core, this is making so much sense. I am Mother Earth. I am Mother Earth, and he is like Father Sky. One more round of light through that pyramid, and then you guys can take your hands off, but not yet. So I'm going to draw it in. I'm going to draw it in a really powerful round. Just up into that pyramid and into you guys so that you can help me. This is giving you power. It's giving you the energy and the strength. Energy and the strength to hold the moon still. I had no idea this was coming, you guys. I did not.
I never do.
What is it?
I just channeled these, you
I'm
guys.
dizzy. I'm so dizzy. I'm so dizzy. Oh. I feel like I'm in that lifetime, and I have like this snake thing on my head, and the eyes are glowing now all of a sudden, and I like have this staff, and I'm standing at the Sphinx, and I am not like, I'm wrath, right? Like
That's why Sekhmet was throwing out wrath. You killed Horus.
Stop Sekhmet. They killed Horus, and they took power of the moon like the necklace, like they ripped it off his neck, and like he was stabbed, and he fell backwards into his final resting place, where we're gonna remove him from.
Which was the Sphinx. That's where I built
All right,
it.
you can take your hands off the pyramid. I need you to just integrate for a moment.
I love
Keep
this.
your palms facing up and just integrate for a moment. Let it integrate. You're expanding. This is strength and power of a God. I need you to hold the moon still while I do the work, because he's not here to do it, but he's going to take on this lifetime. They're telling me not to doubt it because I've lost some of that. So it's just like removing that energy. I feel so dizzy, like I'm standing in a vortex. Oh, this makes sense though. And I'm like by the Sphinx, you guys, and I look like Sekhmet, and I have this snake thingy on my head, and it's gold and very beautiful, and like, oh, it was like a headdress of a snake, and the eyes are now glowing, and my staff matches and it's glowing, and I'm like hitting the ground, like boom, boom, right by the Sphinx. Boom, boom, boom. Wow, the Sphinx is Horus.
I told you.
Horus returns.
Full circle moment. That was a full circle moment.
Oh. Woo. Woo. Whoa, Lord.
So I am going to pause it for a second because I don't think you guys realize the totality of what this did to my vessel. Everything that I did is real. I used my light to do it, activating the pyramids. I would use my light to do it, shifting the poles, creating more, I processed the earth's death through my physical being. And even when my DM died, I swelled up because I had to take on his light until my walk-in was able to do so. It's been a very painful ride. So these things, I am not just simply just being a vessel to describe to you what's happening in the ethereal. I'm doing it. I am the return. Okay. And if you watched the Nile one, I uploaded the actual video. So you have the audio and the video on my YouTube channel. That was done in June of 23. I called my power back from that one. I replaced the crystal in the core of the earth. And I dried the Nile, and they told you I'm the queen of life. And I didn't know that one was coming either. So I never know any of these are coming. Spirit says, hey, we're going to go get gifts, or hey, we need to upgrade, or hey, something's going to happen. And so I just go, and little did I know these things come through, and it's happened from the beginning. So you can actually watch the whole entire Return of Christ unfold, learn all truths. And not only that, there's so much proof in them, to even little things. If I was doing missing persons and they were accurate, the submersible that went missing, right? That one little underground water thing, when that happened, they had me predict what happened to it, and I was right. So everything I said is proven in real time. So you guys really got to watch these. Let's listen, because the work I'm about to do is deep. And if you're not awake to see it, watch it a couple times, okay? Because this is the full moon, and the end is coming.
So I'm telling you, the collective didn't do this. I did.
At the same time, here in a moment, I'm going to have you literally imagine holding the moon. And you're going to hold the moon still. Well, I move the sun a little over. And then I'm going to break the outer layer of the moon. I need it to hold still. It cannot.
So hear that. I need you guys to understand, because I had to process this after I did this. I didn't know. So right now they actually found like this crust on the moon that looks like it's dying, and they call it a hematite crust. This is part of the prophecy, and which is actually means blood on the moon. Now, if you're watching what I'm about to do to the moon and Horus return and what happened with Sekhmet and what I did with Jesus and Adam and Eve, you're going to know what's coming and who I am. You can't deny it, because I didn't know either. Okay, so it's my awakening. So literally right now they're saying blood is on the moon. We are in the eclipses, which are also prophetic. They are not, and I changed the eclipse cycle, and you can watch that on YouTube as well. I have all of these proven. They happened since 2019 in a row consecutively. And most of it is on YouTube to witness. In order to actually have me bring you through myself into the new gates, that's the path to righteousness. That's not for everybody. That's a gift. That's the actual true path of righteousness.
Move, it cannot have energy on it except for that of what I placed there. So whatever energy is there at this time is going to burn. And I need you guys to hold it still.
So hear that. Something was
Once
on the
I
moon.
break that outer layer, Horus's soul is going to rise from the Sphinx and go into my DM. In that necklace, the moon power is going to return to his neck, to his heart space, like right where his heart lies, right? Like I'm wearing it on my heart, but oh, it is his. So this is going to happen in a simultaneous fashion because you guys won't be able to hold it for too long, okay? So I want you to just breathe for a moment. I'm super, super dizzy. Tune into your chest and your solar plexus, okay? Because this is where that power is going to come from. And when you're holding the moon, I want you using all of that energy, okay? It's going to feel, I don't know what you're going to feel. I'm not trying to put things in your head. Just let it be whatever it is. Just don't let go. It's a temporary thing. It won't affect you too long, but you're going to have to hold it still. So I was standing with my staff and that light of the snake eyes, remember? It's like at my head, but it's glowing. It's like alive. It's like alive. It's alive. I have cleared the Sphinx of all the energies that are not belonging there. Oh my gosh. You guys, I should have seen this coming and I had no idea. It makes so much sense. Sorry, okay.
Spirit's amazing.
Mind you, I was attacked tenfold right before this. So I kept having to block all these attacks from New Year's on pretty much. I kept rising above, rising above, rising above. It was not easy.
Constant attacks.
Again, if you don't believe who I am or know who I am by now, then you're not paying attention and you can't see through your shadow, because what I did is not normal and the collective soul had nothing to do with what I did. They have their own purpose through God. I am the one. Okay, there's a difference. I'm not a chosen one. All right. These ladies who are rising with me had their own path to clear. There was supposed to be a lot more. And to do the path to righteousness is you saying, I'm ready now to rise through God, to accept the challenge and to come back into love and to fulfill my purpose through God and to help the ascension. The rest of you will rise through the wrath.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm literally, like I saw in my vision, from the Sphinx, I see the sun like shining a path to the Sphinx. And I will now walk it. And I'm going to walk through the sun. I'm literally going to walk through the sun and take on all that light.
You hear that?
I felt it.
No, it's real.
And boy, I've been sick since.
Oh, I've been seeing clearly. It's like it's hitting me hard right now. Sorry.
So
I
want you guys to imagine that this is actually your life that you're clearing, and having these emotions and this sudden knowing hit you. And that has been my whole entire awakening journey. I didn't look to be this person. I didn't look to have people throw their judgments my way. I didn't look to be in the public eye. I had a psychology degree. I was in behavioral. I was helping kids and in the crisis line. I was doing other things. Okay. So it hurt, but it's also very beautiful. It's a blessing. And to allow your shadow to stop you from seeing, it's a detriment all in itself, because what a beautiful journey.
This was really my death and my DM's death that I've been clearing the whole way through.
Yep.
I'm walking. It's like walking into the sunset on the water. You know what I mean? Like how the water reflects the sunset. It's like I see it like that, and I'm walking on it, and I feel the sun on my feet, and I look like an Egyptian goddess. Like I'm barefoot, and I have these beautiful jewelry and gold draperies, and that hat thing with the snake, and it's glowing in my eyes.
Snakes are relevant too.
I'm 60. Holy joy, can I look like that? And I'm just walking towards the sun, and with all my glorious power, and I'm walking into the sun and I'm walking through the sun. But as I'm in the sun, I'm drawing all her light. I'm expanding. Every bit of my skin is gold and glowing with the light of the sun. I'm picking up all of the sun in every chakra, every orifice. I am becoming the sun. I am becoming the sun. And my staff is filled. I am filled every bit. I'm just glowing and emanating and pulsating the sun. Hold the moon. Reach up and hold the moon. I need you to stop it in its tracks and hold the moon. Hold strong to the moon. Literally stop the moon from moving. You can do it. Just hold the moon, and I want you to hold it still. Just use your light inside to that moon and stop it. You can do it. Just put all your gut into it. Put all your power, the light you just picked up, allow it to flow from your solar plexus through your hands that I did for you today. Brought it through there, right? Those are healed and expanded for you. Draw it into the moon. It's stopping. It's stopping. It's stopping. It's stopping from moving at all. It's stopping from moving at all. Whatever's on it, it's starting to notice. It's starting to notice.
Something was on it.
Someone's completely stopped, and I am filled with the sun. I am filled with the sun. Filled. Like I can't, it's almost like I'm pixelated again. I can't focus. I feel like I'm like fire. I am like, I'm just this powerhouse of sun energy. Me and the sun just became one. And now I'm starting to exit out of the sun. Just hold the moon very still, and what I do will not affect you. And it's almost like I'm reflecting the sun to the moon. So I'm walking up to the moon, and I'm going to come in between all your hands as you're holding it. And it's hard. I can see it's hard. I can see you guys a little struggling in the energy, and the moon is trying to move. Just hold it. Hold it. And I'm taking my staff, and I'm stabbing them. Bam. I gotta do it again. I'm gonna take my staff, and it's filled with sun, and I'm stabbing the moon. And as I did that, I was like, cheek right in through this layer, this crust, this false layer. I'm not killing the moon. I am clearing the moon. It's like this dome of fake, this dome of like hard clay, and it's just like, and it's starting to crack all the way across, and all my sunlight is filling into the moon, and all of these things, there's things there, there's almost like these aliens, there's like these little, like this sculpture, like the like a building or something. I don't know. It's all starting to burn. Like all of the sun is just opening up the energy on the moon, and I can feel it in you guys. I can feel the energy. It's quite intense. Just hold still. You don't have to do it too much longer. And it's like all of this cracking, like all the way across, and then it's starting to break off. Boom. It's starting to fall apart. It's starting to fall apart. It's starting to fall apart. This false persona, this false layer of the moon. Like a glass dome, right? But not glass, like clay. And it's just breaking off and falling, and I'm glowing, and all the sun is just embarking upon the moon. So it's not going in the moon, but it's putting up a sun barrier around the moon. Just a little bit longer, and you'll be able to let go. Just not yet. Don't let go. Draw in strength from your solar plexus, draw out that light, and hold that moon. DM just taking all of you, which is usually my DM and I, so you can tell it's a lot. I'm putting protections around your heart and your organs so nothing affects you. And I just feel so calm. And all of these things on the moon are burning and falling and breaking until until there is no more except for the true moon being exposed.
And right now,
And now you can let go.
somebody actually caught an image of the moon so detailed that they look like, they said it's like a hematite crust that is, the moon is dying. That's what it looks like. And they call it blood on the moon. And that is the prophecy. And now we have the eclipse. And so how much more proof can I give you, except for you guys don't click the link to watch, which, you know what? I've made it into the new earth. I'm going to keep shining my light for those who want to join me.
Now the moon has a sun layer around it being protected. A very massive dome of sun protection. Now I'm going to call it Horus.
Important.
I'm taking my staff now, just no longer in the moon.
I can feel
It
it.
is
So
being protected. You guys can relax and breathe and regain your power. All that energy will start going back into the core. It's not going to take anything from you, but you're going to feel something. But I do need you to take your focus to the Sphinx with me. And I'm starting to see Horus, like this light just activating Horus's soul, right? But in my DM, and I'm starting to see him rise. But you guys, he looks like he is as big as the Sphinx. Literally, this is not a joke. I feel like he's rising from the Sphinx, his soul, when he died. And he's rising up slowly, just coming up out of the ground, his soul, just slowly. Now I will move the moon over a little bit to the left. And I'm taking a chunk of the sun and I'm shoving it into the Sphinx, like wham.
I do that a lot.
Horus goes, whoom. He stands straight up, and it's like I woke up. Like I've been, hang on, I gotta go somewhere. There's like Toth, whoever he is. He's gotta take the soul out of this thing, like ripping it out, like boom, like a skin suit again.
It's not pleasant. It's not pleasant.
It's like I stole his soul.
Took it back.
Like they stole his soul.
Yeah, they stole it from him.
Oh.
Just like they did with Jesus.
Putting it back into Horus, the one that just rose out of the Sphinx. I'm putting that soul that I just took back from whatever this was. They were alive, and I put it back into Horus, and it's like realigning. What's the weirdest thing I've ever seen? I need you to just draw energy there for me for a moment. And holding space for the Sphinx.
So they did the same thing to Jesus. Jesus is the same soul as Horus. There is no separation. It's not Jesus against Horus. Jesus is Horus. Adam and Eve, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, Sekhmet and Horus. Those are all my lifetimes that I have been clearing, and that of my DM. And I have fought for his soul 3 times now. And we have made it to the end. Horus has risen was the final component, my friends. God has returned. It is our earth, not a president's, not yours. It is ours. And those who rise through God are the ones who will own that piece of that place, the new earth. The rest won't stay.
Sphinx is what we're doing, okay? We're holding space for the Sphinx right now. This is very strange. I don't fully understand it either. And now Horus is starting to find my DM, the soul. It's searching for my DM. It's searching for my DM. He needs to allow it to integrate. I can't force this. I can't just shove that soul into him. So I'm just holding space, you guys. I'm just going to be quiet for a moment and let him find his home. like a beacon. It's like this light. He sees the light. He sees the light. It's the weirdest. It's the weirdest thing. It's like the soul that just rose, that I just reintegrated, sees the light, and he's going home.
It was cool.
It's going home.
It's cool to
So
see.
my Dion's about to take on that soul.
It's really
Whatever's
cool to see.
happening in his life, it's like aligning. It's aligning. That's all I know. Or the moon is shaking a bit. It's like expanding. It was being made small. So as this is happening, the moon is like, and it's expanding. It's expanding. It's expanding. It's expanding. It's not smaller than the sun. It's large. It's quite large. And so all of that is helping to expand it. It was being kept small. It was like captive. It was like it was stolen. It was captive, and they put this dome to keep it theirs. And it was very small, and this changed the life cycle. This goes with the life cycle. So the moon is expanding and expanding and expanding and expanding. And if you think the sun caused earthquakes, oh boy, I feel it coming into the earth. It's expanding. Oh, he's finding him. Hang on. It's like,
I felt it.
and then like he gets that thing back on his neck, like a necklace, like it just went back on and it's glowing at his chest. And that thing on our wrist, what the heck is that? It's like it reformed around him and around me. It's the left wrist. I don't know the significance of that. To look back in images. Is there something to do with like this very long gold bracelet on the left wrist of Horus and Sekhmet? But I think Thoth stole it. This makes so much sense, like light bulb after light bulb. The owl was right? What the? Okay. So you guys can let go of the Sphynx, no more holding space. Horus has returned home. I was worried. Oh, good Lord Almighty.
It's beautiful.
Horus has returned home. And the sun will still protect the moon until the eclipse, but it's not going to be like what you think. It's quite different. And the moon is going to continue expanding until that time. And then when that alignment occurs, it's going to be like the biggest flash of energy.
That's the coming eclipse in April.
So my DM is integrating. I feel it. It's like a little like, whoa. Taking on that power again, and that light is reformed, and something to do with this bracelet on our wrist. They align together, they go together, they belong together. So if one is broken, the other breaks. It's really strange.
One twin dies, the other dies. They can't survive alone.
Just went lifeless.
That's the way I gotta walk
It
it.
just like went light. It was like glowing, and now it's like dried up. It served its purpose.
Yes, the Sphynx served its purpose. It was for its return.
Oh wow, this makes sense. Like I created it to protect my DM. Oh,
The love is
and
cool.
much more. And much more. So put your hands back on that pyramid if you guys don't mind, so that it can cleanse you and draw out any remnants. Because if you held that too long, it would hurt you. You're not meant to. So it's going to draw back what it gave, but also just provide healing light. So you will receive healing, upgrades.
So if you guys listened carefully, I said in there that the eclipse is not going to be what you think it is. It's more than you know. The work that I did is more than you know. And by golly, if you watched it all, you might just know. It's not normal. The attacks on me have been relentless. They are continually. When your judgments come out of you towards me, where do you think they come from? It's funny because the false prophets and the ones who can't prove the work that they did to you, people believe in a split second without proof. But when I offer proof, your shadow gets in the way. So don't let it. That's why I can't just give the path to righteousness away either, because even the Bible said, God showed me this weekend, that literally they spoke about Jesus being the only path to righteousness. And when God told me to put all the Return of Christ work that I did over 5 years together and call it the path to righteousness, now I know why. And when people on here throw negativity my way, it hurts. But I know it's not you. It's just your shadow. So I would take the time to watch, because you don't know what's happening. You don't know what's coming, but I guarantee you it's bigger than all of you. Happy full moon, my friends. Happy Horus return. So much love. Till next time.